Greetings, I'm Jeannie Thompson, the number Jeannie, and today is a very, very important date. Here we're at the 22nd of the first month of 2022. I am a numerologist, intuitive, and psychic medium, and I've studied the science of numbers for over 35 years. Numerology is a science, and it's based on the idea that we are all energetic beings, and that energy is ever present, ever moving, ever flowing, and that we can direct it through our thoughts and our intentions. But they have to be conscious thoughts and conscious choices, and then they have to include right action. And at that point you have the number sequence 1, 2, 3. Well, 1, 2, 3 is the divine triangle. If you move the L, I like to do things with words, it becomes triangel. So words are symbols for ideas, and every single letter of the alphabet vibrates to a specific number. So this is infinite. It's endless. There's all sorts of information that you can glean about yourself to empower yourself. But the numbers were also, not to really get religious here, but, they were in the Bible. I'm convinced that they were there so that, because the Master Jesus didn't want those that would not have him do his work to know what he was doing. And these numbers have been known for eons of time, so they can be used either for light or for shadow. The use of words as symbols, the use of repetition as mind control, as pattern, and we can repattern ourselves. And here we are in the year 2022. More on that later. But this specific date is a specific world turning point. We're entering into the sun sign of Aquarius. Humanitarian, the age of Aquarius. The baby boomers have gotten a lot smarter since the 60s and the 70s. And they're here as elders. So let's do the math, shall we? Okay, so you've got the first month, that's 1. And then you've got 22, so that's 23. You add 20 to it for 2022, you've got 43. And then you add 22, and you get 65. So today we're having a 65 over 11 World Day. Keywords for that: take a risk, make a leap. There's going to be lots of assistance, but we were born with free will, and we need to ask for that assistance. 22 is the ancient numerical value for a circle. It is the alpha and the omega. It vibrates to the Fool, which in Latin means phallus, which means bag of wind, the Fool in the ancient tarot. The 0 point, and we have reached 0 point. Nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide, but stand at the edge of the cliff and dream bigger. Jack didn't have to go into that box. 22 is the master number of the base number 4, and 4 is the number of the material world. Material world. The box. You remember the old saying, Jack and Jill had to go all the way up the hill to get the water? And yet we're made up as humans of 79% water. Why did Jack and Jill have to go all the way up the hill to get that water? We all bought it. We bought that nursery rhyme. We bought that parable because we just imagined Jack and Jill climbing all the way up the hill to get the water. But they were so thirsty when they got to the top, or maybe they didn't even make it to the top because they were parched. They forgot to drink at the bottom. Oh, it might have had a little bit of mud in it, a little bit of dirt, Mother Earth dirt. She's not clean. You came to this planet to assist her to stay clean in body, mind, and spirit, and she is going to assist us this year. She already is. She's speaking loudly. Pay attention to the weather patterns. The weather patterns are indicative of our connection to all of the cycles. Everybody has cycle days, cycle months, and cycle years. And since the reset of 2020, you've got 2020. So the key word for 20, anything with a 0 attached to it, has a lot of cosmic existence, but it's like 10 times that. So we've got 2020. The phrase that I coined was time for plenty. Plenty of what? Well, plenty of turning points, right? Plenty of opportunity for self-awareness, and plenty of opportunity to understand just how adaptable we are. But then that 2020 added up to 40. There you go. You've got the material world again, but you have a 0. So 2020 hit everyone where? Right in their absolute structure, their stability. To quote someone from 1941 who was on trial in the Nuremberg trials, all you have to do is threaten the populace with either their lives, death, or their financial stability, and you can get them to do anything. I'm not making this stuff up. It's written down in his story. So now 2020 was a time where we were looking at alternative ways to be and scrambling. Then we moved into 2021. Well, you still got a 20, but you've got a 21. And 21 is the world in the ancient tarot. So most definitely our worlds were changing. Many people felt that they were going around and around and around in circles like a hamster on a wheel, still having to adapt, still many turning points, still much more work to do on how self-aware. But meanwhile, being barraged in mainstream media, everywhere you look. Bad news, bad news, bad news, bad news. Hype, 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 hype. All of us have been on a state of alert. Our bodies, minds, and spirits have been on a state of alert for going on 3 years. But I digress, because we're still at last year, 2021. Time to have fun. So 2021, do the math. That adds up to 41. Okay, whereas 2020 was a fire year, into the fire, now 2021 was a water year. But it wasn't like any old water year. It was a year where we were in the water, but were we going to risk floating downstream, getting caught up in the riptides of all the emotions and all of the stuff going on? Or were we going to go sit by the water, watch the ducks, take a breath, and get more clarity? Because last year was a year for us to get clarity. And if you look back recently, I mean, every day feels like 2 or 3 months because of the nanosecond and things speeding up, but we are digressing. We could get into that in another talk. But the thing about the 5 is the 5 is all about the emotions. 5 is the unexpected. So if you look back on last year, it was too uncertain for plans. Every time you made a plan, it would get changed. And so there was a lot of emotion going on. Emotion. Everything is connected to the waters, the moon, the ebb, the tide. And those of us who are holding really tightly to the shore, or another visual would be skiing behind a big speedboat and you're holding onto the rope, and all of a sudden the riptide hits you and you're going under. But you don't want to let go of that rope because you've been told, don't let go of the rope. I have something, I can save you. Nobody can make anybody feel safe. I have something to save you. Don't let go of the rope. But meanwhile, you're going under. Or do you let go? Do you trust that gurgling in your stomach, that gnawing in your stomach that says something ain't right, something not right? And so you start feeling restless. Meanwhile, the ante steps up. There's way, way more stuff on the news. It's all pointed towards we are in a state of emergency over and over and over again. All you have to do is repeat something 3 times, and then it becomes a parable or a pattern or a condition in the mind. Now we're moving into 2022. Okay, you still got that 20. 20, by the way, is the judgment card in the tarot deck. And Gabriel started blowing his horn when they pulled their trump card. Actually, Trump's soul number in numerology is the number 16. This goes way back to the Tower of Babylon. And he did Babylon, does Babylon. But people are looking at him in judgment. Well, okay, so we're all particles of each other. We called this stuff to us. There's no blame. Why are we blaming ourselves? Trump came to wake our apathetic, yes, asses up, to bring it all down, to show us that we have to rebuild, to show us that money is transient, to show us that love is our only D-fence. Yes, I like to hyphenate words. Okay, so moving on to 2022. 2022. Be uniquely you. That's what this year is all about. It's about being uniquely you while in harmony and cooperation with another. So this year is about gratitude. Gratitude is the master key. And we are crunching down all the old bits of conditioning within ourselves, each and every one of us, as well as in the collective consciousness. We are rebirthing ourselves. There's not going to be any second coming. There's going to be, and there is, one world, 2 different realities. You can choose love, or you can choose discord. How do you be peaceful in a place where everything around you is not peaceful? You go in, you meditate, you ask for assistance. This is not the time to do it alone. This is the time to find your people. You will know them by the look in their eye, by their ideas, by the way you feel after you have spent time with them. Pay attention to that, because there's no more time to push, pull, or drag anyone where they do not wish to go. There's no more time for that. This is Armageddon. It's not a Harry Potter movie. We are living it. And it's time to stand up and be counted and to remember that you are not alone. The other thing is it's a good job we don't all freak out at once. But this is our time. We signed on for this. I know that there's a lot of loss going on. I have experienced it myself personally. Friends, family, years and years and years of relationship. But this isn't about necessarily our relationship to others as much as it's about the relationship to ourselves first. To be more self-aware of how we communicate. To be more self-aware of things that we stuff down and we don't say. Right now we all need a sign that says tact is when I can tell somebody where to go so nicely they're actually looking forward to the trip. And you know what, people? It's showtime. I love you all very, very much. I am available via Zoom for private appointments in person if you're local, for events, speaker events, and gatherings. You can get in touch by emailing me at info@thenumbergenie.com. NUMBERGENIE. And yes, I am right out of the bottle and ready to serve. So much love, Rainbow Warriors. Today's the day, and it's going to get better from here on in. Bye for now.